Well, hello there. Yes, the people of the internet now have definitive proof that I'm not dead. Sorry, I'm a little overdramatic. I'm a tiny bit tired. I just got back from work, put on comfy clothes. Apparently, since I haven't been doing videos in 3 months, I have forgotten how to talk to a camera. I apologize. Seriously though, I really am sorry that I've been neglecting my vlogging, and that is exactly what it has been, neglect. I could make up a ton of excuses about how I've had school and social life and other stuff getting in the way, but let's just be honest, it was neglect. Obviously, I've been keeping up with my New Year's resolution to vlog more, given that this is my first vlog of 2014, but it's been bugging me for months that I haven't been able to make a video, so I just decided to say screw it, and I got out the camera. I think one of my biggest hangups for whatever reason is having to have the nice little formal setup over by my bookcase, which I typically do for most of my videos. When having like the nice pretty setup isn't what is important about vlogs. The important part is having a camera and speaking to it, so I just set up my camera on my desk and here we are. Obviously I'm very behind, but I'm gonna start by doing this week's topic of the my first time tag. I'll say right now, I'm probably not gonna have the best answers for these. I'm going to try my best though. I've already cut out some of these because they just don't apply to me. For example, I've never broken any bones. And I don't have a driver's license, so I don't have a car. But the majority of the stuff is in here. Okay, here we go. All right, my first kiss. This would be when I was 16. It was on Halloween. A big group of us went trick-or-treating together because yes, we still did that all through high school. And then we all went to my friend's place in Waynfleet and we all camped out for the night in his backyard. Backyard's putting it loosely. He has a ton of land around his house. Anyway, there was a whole bunch of us that had known each other for years and one new person, at least fairly new. We had a French exchange student named Tom. He was staying with my friend Tristan, whose tent we were sleeping in that night. And a big thing of ours all through high school, we played a lot of truth or dare. I know a lot of people probably grew out of that at a grade 7 and 8, but that's what we did all through high school, all the way up to grade 12 pretty much. So anyway, I was dared to kiss Tom. I was reluctant because I had never kissed anyone before, obviously, and I actually had a boyfriend at the time. Yes, I only knew him online and he lived in Arizona, but I still counted him as a boyfriend. But anyway, they just kept bugging me and bugging me and bugging me, so I eventually just kind of gave in. It was just like a 5-second peck on the lips kind of thing. But I still count that as my first kiss. I remember when Tom went back to France, he eventually sent my friend Tristan a letter, and he left a little message in the letter for me specifically. And the message was, moi. So Tom, if you ever end up seeing this, mwah, mwah, mwah. Okay, the next one, my first date. Crap. My first date happened pretty shortly after I broke up with my first online boyfriend. It was with a boy that happened to have dated 2 of my girlfriends prior to dating me. It wasn't too bad. We went out to a nice restaurant right by my house. Then we ended up walking to the park, and that was when I had my first French kiss. But anyway, that one French kiss ended up turning into many, many more in the back row of a movie theater. And not just through one movie. We went to a second movie after the first movie was done. So apparently on my first date, I was a slut. Okay, on to the next one, my first word. I was trying to bug my mother before doing this video about exactly what my first word was, and she honestly can't remember. I believe I was told at one point either by my mother or my father way back when that my first word was yuck. It had to do with me being fed something that I did not want to eat. I don't exactly remember. I could be making this up, or it could be my dad or my mom had a shit memory. I don't know. This is just what I vaguely remember being told. As for first movie, I don't remember the very first movie I ever saw. Possibly Snow White, but I do remember the first movie I saw in theaters. My uncle Rick took me and my cousin Parker and my cousin Turner to go see the first Rugrats movie. That's probably aging me for the younger crowd and making me seem really young for the older crowd. But yes, that is the very first movie I saw in an actual theater, at least that I can remember. First crush. Okay, I can remember my very first mini crush. Mini meaning it lasted a day. That would be to my neighbor Brian, who actually is the younger brother of my brother's best friend. I remember we hung out one day at the park in the summer and I just had like this random fascination with him, and it just kind of started that day. Also ended that day because when we got back to my house, he was chatting with my brother about skateboards and he reminded me way too much of my brother, so that ended it pretty quickly. Okay, the first time I nearly died. I actually don't have any specific memory of this, but I can tell you one story that kind of relates to this. I don't think I was really that close to death, but I could have been. So for background, I was raised when I was very, very young in a house right across the street from my grandmother's house. I lived there until I was about 5, and then we moved to the house I'm living in now. I was told that when I was very, very young, like still in diapers, I used to crawl across the road to my grandmother's house. Obviously not safe. It wasn't the busiest road ever, but still a road, so kind of scary. First memory. This is a bit of a tougher one to decipher. When I was really, really young, my dad had the habit of filming a lot of stuff when I was young, like 3 years old, 4 years old. It's not my actual memory, but I remember watching these videos of me when I was 3 or 4. I have some vague memories of my 4th birthday. I know those aren't from videos. I'm pretty sure I have some kind of like vague memory of a fall day when I was 3 years old, but I can't remember anything else besides it being fall. First album. I technically did not own this album. My dad had a copy and I believe my brother had a copy. That or my dad got 2 copies and gave it to my brother. But I listened to it more than either of them combined, so I'm gonna say this counts. My first album was A Little Bit of Mambo by Lou Bega. I'm not sure where I first heard the song, but when I was younger I became very obsessed with Mambo No. 5. I know it's been parodied into a Disney version, but I don't know if that's exactly where I remember it from. I'm pretty sure I heard that after I heard the original version. For whatever reason, I was obsessed with that song and I played that song over and over and over again in the house. I eventually started playing the entire album over and over, and that's probably the first album I have fully listened to, like every single song in a row, not skipping to various songs. I used to even have this weird like wicker hat that kind of looked like a fedora that my dad used to own, and I used to do dances with my friends that would come over. It was really weird. First time I got drunk. I remember this. I wish I didn't, but I remember this. This would be when I was 18 and it was New Year's Eve. I was with my boyfriend I was at my boyfriend's parents' house at the time, and he and his older brother were throwing a New Year's Eve party. I was all dressed up because I always like being dressed up, and I kept being fed screwdrivers. My boyfriend has quite the high tolerance, so he kept making mine ridiculously strong. Way stronger than they needed to be, and they didn't taste good at all. From what I've been told of this night, I kept stealing like my boyfriend's drinks. Like he would make a screwdriver for himself and then I would take it. I do remember having portal shots that evening. That was fun. I remember feeling really crappy eventually. I had the spins, I threw up. None of that is fun. My boyfriend took care of me for a little while, but then he just ditched me in his bedroom and went off to have fun. He came back when he was drunk and then just started like tiredly groping me. I did not appreciate that very much. So yes, first time I got drunk, not fun. Pretty sure I kept playing Rock Band with random people too, and badly. First time I used the internet. Okay, I'm pretty sure I know what the first time was. I remember being 10 years old and hearing at school about Neopets. Yes, I was a Neopets kid. I heard about Neopets from school and it was something I really wanted to try out, and I told my mother about it and she agreed to help me figure out what Neopets was and how to join and how to use it and all that. First thing I need to do is create an email. So I created an email and it is the email I still have today. I have had my email since I was 10 years old. I've had it for 11 years now. So that was the first time I used the internet to go onto neopets.com. Okay, first video game. I can't remember the first game I played. I remember renting, I'm pretty sure it might have been like a PlayStation game. It was a Rugrats game. I rented a lot of Rugrats games when I was a kid. I was scared of like games where you could get shot at or where you could shoot others, so I ended up renting a lot of Rugrats games when I was very little. I also liked Banjo-Kazooie, but it was my brother's and he wouldn't let me play it very much. But the first game I ever owned was Banjo-Tooie for N64. I didn't own the N64, but I owned an N64 game, which was pretty cool. It meant I could only play it when my brother would let me use the system, but I still owned my very own game, and that is the first game I ever owned myself. Hater comment. Now it doesn't specify, I'm not sure if this is us giving a hater comment or a hater comment coming to us. I'm thinking it's somebody hating on us. I definitely remember my first hater comment towards me. It was over MSN Messenger. I'd gotten into this group chat with a bunch of people from school. I don't know why, they just kind of invited me. Grade school was not a good time for me, so these people weren't exactly being nice. One of the girls ended up calling me a fat ass bitch. Did not appreciate it, still don't, probably why I still remember. Okay, next would be first hairstyle. This is a bit of a harder one to answer because when I was very young, I didn't really give a crap about my appearance or my hair or anything. My mother would do my hair all the time. She loved like putting tons of like weird butterfly clips in my hair and putting my hair up in a ponytail and just having lots and lots of fun with my head. I remember being like 8 years old and getting a lot of my hair chopped off. I'm pretty sure I looked like a boy for a little while. It didn't bother me. I just remember seeing a picture of me at like 8 years old and I had this really short hair and my big cheesy smile. It looked kind of like a bowl cut actually. I don't think that's what it was, but just I saw one old picture where it kind of looked like I had a bowl cut for a little bit. And the final one is first broken heart. I could give a real human answer to this, but I am gonna cheap out and give a different answer. My first broken heart would probably have happened around the time I had my very first pet. When I was younger, my brother had 2 hamsters. They were Hammy and Ash. Eventually, I got my own hamster. I'm not sure if he had either of his hamsters around at the time, but I eventually got one of my own. His name was Speedy. Honestly, I just had such a hard time coming up with a better name for him, and he just kept running around on his freaking wheel, and I just had no other ideas for names. I remember that little bugger used to like eat through the plastic at the bottom of his cage and escape. One morning before school, I found him behind the freezer in the basement. Another time, he was clawing at my plastic garbage can at 4 in the morning. Either way, you know hamsters don't really live that long, and so when he died, I was heartbroken. It was very sad. It just kind of happened out of nowhere, and that kind of stuff is never really nice. So I guess I'd have to say that was the first time I really had my heart broken. And I was a very sensitive child, whereas nowadays, if I'm with my friends at some kind of tearjerker movie, they are all bawling their eyes out, and I am made out of stone. Yay! I actually completed a video! I feel good about myself. Actually, I'll feel good about myself once I have edited this. Just filming it is one thing. I have attempted to film a couple videos over the past couple months. I've just never gotten to editing them. One of them I actually filmed with my boyfriend, and it was not the first time tag, but it was a tag very, very similar that I kind of made after compiling 2 different tags together. I'm hoping I can eventually do that because that's kind of a little separate activity I want to do with the vlog Eagles, as that's different from the topics that we do every month. It might take a little while because we got lots and lots of footage and that's a lot to edit and it will take a little while. So until then, I hope I can actually start keeping up with my vlogging. I really, really hope I can because I missed it. I've missed the vlog Eagles. I don't even feel like a real eagle when I'm not doing videos because I started off like quickly after I became an eagle. I started vlogging for the vlog Eagles, and it's hard to separate the two sometimes. One thing my time has gone to a lot lately is my blog. I've been keeping up with the blog since December. I've been actually keeping up with it, not like how I've been doing with videos. If anyone wants to see that, I will have a link in the description below. I'm also on Instagram now, and I'm attempting Google Plus to kind of plug my blog and get it out there more, and other social media stuff. All that will be linked down below, and I hope I see you guys soon, or that you see me soon, or however this works. Okay, I will see you all next time. Bye!